When the new Formula One regulations take effect from 2026, many in the paddock will have Mercedes firmly in their sights. This stems from the fact that alongside chassis rules, engine regulations will also undergo major changes starting next season. However, Toto Wolff has dismissed any expectation of dominance similar to what the Anglo-German outfit achieved in 2014 when F1 underwent its major engine regulation revolution. In 2014, Mercedes dominated the premier category for years afterward, claiming the Constructors' World Championship 8 consecutive times through 2021 and establishing a new record in the process. The Silver Arrows became virtually untouchable during that era, with their power unit advantage proving decisive across multiple seasons. Nevertheless, Wolff cautions against expecting similar success from 2026 onward. The Austrian team principal believes the circumstances are fundamentally different this time around, creating a more complex competitive landscape that could prevent any single manufacturer from achieving sustained dominance. We had a power unit advantage from the beginning. In 2014, recalls the Mercedes team boss, reflecting on that groundbreaking period. But there was no competition on the chassis side, Wolff explains, highlighting what he sees as the crucial difference between then and now. The distinction forms the cornerstone of his argument about why 2026 will present entirely different challenges. The current competitive environment already demonstrates this shift in dynamics. Mercedes' Brackley-based factory team finds itself in the unusual position of not even being the fastest Mercedes-powered outfit on the grid. Customer team McLaren, utilizing Mercedes engines, has surged ahead throughout 2024, showcasing superior chassis development and overall package optimization. This reversal of fortunes serves as a stark reminder of how much the sport has evolved, where once engine supremacy could virtually guarantee success. Today's Formula One demands excellence across all technical areas. Wolff acknowledges this reality and expects significant internal competition among Mercedes-powered teams come 2026. Therefore, even if Mercedes constructs the superior power unit once again, championship conquest would be far from a foregone conclusion, according to Wolff's assessment. The team principal recognizes that multiple factors will determine success, with aerodynamic efficiency and overall car balance playing increasingly critical roles. Beyond McLaren's current superiority, Wolff identifies other Mercedes customers as potential threats. Alpine and Williams shouldn't be overlooked because they have substantial wind tunnel time, the Austrian warns, referencing the sport's balancing system that rewards struggling teams with additional development opportunities. This balancing mechanism could prove particularly significant for Alpine's prospects, currently languishing in 10th and final position in the Constructors' Championship. The French outfit has suffered primarily due to their underpowered Renault power unit. However, their struggles have granted them maximum wind tunnel allocation under F1's competitive balance regulations. If you're so far behind in a championship, as is currently the case with Alpine, I think you gain 30% more wind tunnel time, Wolff explains. This accumulates over the years, so you need to be careful. The Mercedes boss adds, recognizing how this additional development capacity could translate into competitive gains. Alpine's switch to Mercedes power units for 2026 represents another complication for the German manufacturer's championship ambitions. The French team will combine their maximum wind tunnel allocation with proven Mercedes power, potentially creating a formidable combination that could challenge their engine supplier. The wind tunnel time distribution system fundamentally alters competitive dynamics in modern Formula One, Teams struggling in the current championship receive significantly more aerodynamic development opportunities, allowing them to potentially leap forward when new regulations arrive. This creates unpredictable, competitive shuffles that wouldn't have been possible in previous eras. Wolff understands the implications clearly. We need a competitive chassis because all our customers will be using the same engine, he states matter-of-factly. This reality means Mercedes must excel in areas beyond power unit development to maintain their competitive edge against their own customer teams. The McLaren example perfectly illustrates this challenge. Despite using Mercedes engines, the Woking-based outfit has consistently outperformed their engine supplier throughout 2024. Their superior aerodynamic package and overall car balance have demonstrated that engine parity can actually favor customer teams with better chassis development. For Mercedes to reclaim championship glory in 2026, they must first overcome their own customer teams. This represents a fundamental shift from the engine formula era when power unit supremacy could mask chassis deficiencies. Today's regulations demand comprehensive excellence across all technical areas. Wolff acknowledges the changing dynamics of factory team advantages. I think it's an advantage to a certain point because you set the direction of how the entire layout should be designed. He explains regarding Mercedes' factory status. However, he recognizes the limitations of this benefit in the current competitive environment. But if the chassis doesn't perform equally well because you don't generate the same amount of downforce or drag too much, or because you've neglected some gaps or haven't recognized some innovations, then you'll fall behind, Wolff warns. This honest assessment reflects his understanding of modern F1's technical demands. The budget cap implementation has further leveled the competitive playing field. Wolff notes that financial muscle can no longer compensate for technical shortcomings. You can no longer push anyone around with money, which was always a kind of get-out-of-jail card for the three big teams, he remembers. But that doesn't work anymore. This financial restriction prevents wealthy manufacturers from simply outspending their competitors to overcome technical deficiencies. Teams must now maximize efficiency within identical spending limits, making organizational excellence and resource allocation crucial factors in championship battles. Looking ahead to 2026, Wolff identifies additional threats beyond Mercedes' customer teams. We're not even talking about Honda and Aston Martin, with lots of wind tunnel time, and the Adrian Newey factor, the Austrian points out. The way F1 is today with current regulations, anyone can succeed. This democratization of competitive opportunity represents perhaps the most significant change in modern Formula One, where historical advantages once created predictable hierarchies. Today's regulations and restrictions have opened championship possibilities to a broader range of teams. George Russell shares his team principal's measured optimism about Mercedes' engine prospects, while acknowledging broader challenges. The British motorist expresses confidence in their power unit development, but recognizes that engine performance alone cannot guarantee success. I think on average over the last 10 years, probably even more, I can't remember Mercedes not having the best engine in Formula One, Russell states, emphasizing their historical power unit excellence. He notes this superiority extended even into the previous V8 era, demonstrating Mercedes' consistent engineering capabilities. However, Russell also provides a sobering reality check about their recent struggles. The reason we haven't won any championships in the last 4 years isn't the engine, and we're well aware of that, the British motorist admits candidly. This acknowledgement underscores the multifaceted nature of modern F1 competition. Therefore, while a competitive power unit will remain important in 2026, it won't serve as the sole determining factor between victory and defeat. Mercedes must excel across all technical areas while managing increased competition from their own customer teams. The 2026 regulation changes will test every aspect of Mercedes' capabilities. Their historical engine excellence provides a foundation, but success will require comprehensive technical mastery, organizational efficiency, and the ability to outperform teams using identical power units. Can Mercedes overcome the internal competition from their own customers and reclaim championship glory, or will the new regulations create an even more unpredictable, competitive landscape? Subscribe to stay updated on every twist in Formula One's evolving championship battle.